Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reaction, and this is 5 impossible things that can happen on other planets by the real life lore. This is going to be a fun video. It's about planets, and whenever it's anything related to space, I love it. Obviously, I'll have a thing or two to say about it, and if I'm wrong, obviously somebody will point out in the comments. So yeah, this is always fun videos to react to, so this is going to be fun. I recorded quite a few real life lore videos already. If you haven't seen them, check out the link in the description. It's there somewhere. Check out the cards for all the playlists like CGP Grey, Interhistorian, Salmonella, things like that. Let me know, Tier Zoo. And yeah. And like always, this is real life lore video. I don't know, it might get blocked, so I have to put checkered box there. So if it's that big of an issue for you, run another window besides this, I guess, and play the video simultaneously. But yeah, let's watch this one.
There are some things that are just not possible on our planet. It would certainly be understandable that you would think that if it's impossible here on Earth, then it would be impossible everywhere else in the universe. But that's simply not the case, and the universe is far stranger than any of us can actually believe.
Yeah, the first rule of any space scientific frontier, first thing, on any scientific field, first thing that you taught, not directly but indirectly in a way, that you should stop relying on your senses that were developed around this environment on this planet, because that is not the common thing throughout the world. Earth is just a certain condition at certain temperature, at like I said, certain conditions. That is not the case with entire universe. Obviously, the weird things that we can't even think of here might be common somewhere. Rare things on here on the planet would be just common everywhere in the universe. It might just be rare on the planet. So yeah, so obviously lots of things, people have this lots of time when you tell general public who doesn't know much about science, and if you tell them certain scientific thing, they're always like, oh, I don't believe in that, I deny that, because they are relying on their common sense and their observational mentality that they developed on this planet. And that's why, like, this is ridiculous, that can happen, because they take everything that happens on the earth as to account to what's possible. Obviously that's not true. So yeah, space is a really weird things when you think about it, but yeah.
Let's begin with shadows. Your shadow on Earth is always alone, and you're
Binary
always
stars.
used to seeing it this way as it follows you around during the day. You're also used to seeing everybody else with just one shadow, but this isn't a universal thing that would be experienced elsewhere. You have one shadow because our primary light source on Earth is our sun, but what would happen if there were two suns? A planet that orbits two stars would look much like Tatooine from Star Wars, with two brilliant sunsets each day and two shadows instead of one for each person. It used to only be science fiction until the planet Kepler 16b was discovered, which is a place that orbits two different stars. If you were
about Tatooine, it starts to look red here. Alright, because this star has gone down way low to the horizon, and the light that is passing through the atmosphere now has to pass through a lot of atmosphere. That's why red are spread out in the atmosphere. But what I'm thinking is this star is a bit above that. It's not at the point where it has to travel. The light has to travel through thicker layer of atmosphere. So wouldn't its light overshine the redness from this star? So why would the sky look this reddish if this star exists on top of this one? Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure this is not that realistic. If both stars are makes no difference, very similar to each other and not like this, I don't know, but I don't think you would see the red just because of the intensity of this sun right here. If this sun goes immensely low and then this goes with it at this level, then you start to see a lot of red.
One for each person. It used to only be science fiction until the planet Kepler 16b was discovered, which is a place that orbits two different stars. If you were suddenly teleported to the surface of the planet, you would likely die from the extreme temperatures and lack of air to breathe.
Yeah.
But assuming that you were teleported in a suit that could help you survive, then you would experience having two different shadows, a friend for your always lonely shadow that you experience on Earth. Our next extremely bizarre place is a planet that is likely completely covered in water, an ocean planet named GJ1214b. The planet is several times larger than the Earth, which makes the Pacific Ocean on our planet seem like a puddle in comparison. Even though water covers over 70% of the Earth's surface, water only accounts for 0.05% of the Earth's total mass.
There you go. That's the main thing about this. So yeah, people always think that, Earth has these big oceans, there is a lots of water on Earth, but compared to the diameter of the Earth, there is close to no water on Earth. It's just, 11, 12 kilometers, below the ground. That's how deep the ocean is. And look at the diameter of Earth. So it's barely wet. Our planet is barely wet. And compared to the other Earth-like planets like this one, which has immense level of water, we have close to no water.
On GJ1214b, however, water may account for up to 10% of the planet's total mass.
That's a lot.
Which means that the entire planet would be covered in an ocean hundreds of kilometers deep. Our own ocean goes down only a mere 11 kilometers, and we already have terrifying monsters like this, and this, or huge whales like this. So, one's imagination can run absolutely wild with what fantastical monsters could exist in an ocean that's over 10 times deeper than our own. Who knows what could be lurking there if you crash-landed your
2 kilometers long shark? Whoa. That could crush, I guess, buildings.
Ship on the surface, but what is known is that at the very bottom of this massive ocean, hundreds of kilometers beneath the surface, the pressure would be so intense that the water at the bottom would be transformed into an exotic form of ice known as Ice 7. This ice wouldn't be like ice that you know on Earth. It wouldn't be cold at all, but would remain in a solid form. This doesn't happen naturally on Earth, but neither does our next bizarre example.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really bizarre if you know about this. Like, there is such thing as triple point. Like, if just at the right pressure and right temperature, something like water could, get freeze, turn into liquid and turn into, boiling gas at the same time. And there you might find some videos on YouTube where somebody did that experiment in the lab, and you see this weird, bizarre phenomenon happening where all those processes are happening at the same time. It's really weird, but that's triple point. So basically, if you lower the pressure, the temperature required to boil something goes down. Just like that, if you increase pressure, the freezing point come closer to, basically normal temperature that we know of, rather than freezing temperature. So under, this much of immense pressure under all this water, obviously, even if there isn't, much of, I guess, freezing point or something, not freezing point, even if the water is not that cold, the water would turn into some form of ice. It won't be the form that we know of, the freezing ice. It would be different phase of ice. I think there are 11 or so phases of it, but yeah, it would be Ice 7. So it's a different type of ice, but you will find that ice, and the ice would not be cold to us, I guess, because of the immense pressure it turned into ice.
Weather on Earth is often violent and unpredictable, but it's extremely tame compared to other places in the universe. Take the planet COROT-7b, for example, where instead of raining water, it rains down rocks. This is because half of the planet is scorching hot at 2,600 degrees Celsius, while the other half is far cooler at 177 degrees Celsius. The temperature on the hot side is enough to vaporize rocks, and just like how water will evaporate and condense into clouds on Earth, so too will rocks condense into rock clouds on this planet. These strange rock clouds will then rain liquid rock or magma back onto the surface, but since the atmosphere is cooler the further up it goes, and the temperature on the cool side is far lower, the magma rain will often harden into rocks before striking the ground. This planet seems like the closest place to hell that a place in the universe could get, but another planet has perhaps even...
Yeah, I mean, universe doesn't see water or anything like that. Its temperature is right, why not? Let's just make raining rocks. Why the hell not?
More bizarre weather.
This is why I feel like, the game Mass Effect BioWare has missed a massive opportunity to churn out games after games with great conditions like this. Like, they could create a base on this planet somehow. Create these awesome graphical, terrains and things, and the environment where you could see all this and experience that, and all the billion type of different things that could happen in the universe. You could see, like Interstellar, that movie. You see, and look up in the sky, there's a massive black hole there because you're on the planet, somewhat like that. universe is very dense and detailed thing that would amaze everybody, and you could capture that if you have scientific knowledge of which BioWare usually has, because Mass Effect is commendably really good when it comes to science. It's not so out there type of thing. Obviously, if you ignore all the science fiction thing, just the look of it. I remember playing Mass Effect 1 game, and in that you go to a binary system, one star is red, other is blue, and it just looks awesome while you're riding in the mech or whatever. There are asteroids raining where you land, and it's just incredible. There are lots of different planets like that. I so want next Mass Effect to be like that. Many planets, not just 3 or 4 map. That would be awesome.
This planet, known as HD 189773b, is located 63 light-years away from us, is a little larger than Jupiter, and looks stunningly beautiful from space, but that beauty is hiding a terrifying secret. It looks this way because the planet's atmosphere is made up primarily of silicate particles. Winds on the planet can scream at 5,400 miles per hour, equal to 2 kilometers every second, or 7 times the speed of sound. Temperatures can soar up to 930 degrees Celsius, but most terrifying of all is that the planet rains glass sideways in its extremely violent 2 kilometer per second winds. This is so fast and scary that if a storm like that happened to appear on Earth, it would travel across the entire planet at the equator in just 5 hours and 33 minutes, and leave behind a shredded trail of glass. But even this storm pales in comparison to the mightiest wind so far known in our entire universe, the wind on the planet HD 189733b. This is a gas planet with one side always facing its star, where temperatures can reach a scorching 966 degrees Celsius. But the temperature on the dark side is still very hot at 688 degrees Celsius.
Hot and cold, there you go.
How does the dark side remain so hot still? The answer is extremely, wickedly fast wind, possibly up to 22,000 miles per hour, equal to 10 kilometers per second, or nearly 29 times the speed of sound. For reference, the fastest ever recorded wind on the Earth happened during a tornado in Oklahoma back in 1999, and that was only 301 miles per hour, or 73 times less than the nightmare storm on this giant that's raging right now as you are watching this video. If you made yourself a kite and flew through the wind, then you could zip around the entire Earth in a mere 1 hour and 8 minutes. But perhaps the most interesting place is somewhere that's much closer to home, specifically this place called Titan, which is a moon of Saturn. It has such a thick atmosphere that we didn't even know what its surface looked like until 2005, which if you're curious, it looks like this. But Titan is a very bizarre place. It has an atmosphere, rivers, and lakes, and it even rains like on Earth. But the temperature is a bone-shattering negative 179 degrees Celsius, which is so cold that water is as hard as rocks, and the chemical methane exists in a liquid state. The clouds, rivers, and lakes on the moon are made of methane, which is the primary component of natural gas. Only 20% of Titan's surface has ever been mapped, but it is estimated that in that region alone there is hundreds of times more natural gas and oil than is located on all of Earth.
Yeah, I think, as soon as the Cold War ended, basically NASA went to the Senate and they're like, we want more funding. And they're like, why the hell would we fund you now? The war is over. All the NASA had to say, yeah, but there's a massive amount of oil on Titan, and the budget would go tenfold, over what their budget was at the time. NASA would have been at Pluto by now.
There is so much gas on Titan that it literally rains it. It's an oil tycoon's dream, and maybe the best way to encourage space travel is to let a few countries know about Titan. But even more strange, you could actually theoretically fly on Titan. The atmosphere is thick enough and the gravity is weak enough that if you attached a pair of wings to your arms and made a running jump, then you could actually flap around the moon like a bird, taking in all the alien sights of rivers and lakes. Of course, you would need a suit to protect yourself, but still, you could fly just like in your dreams and achieve something that's impossible here on Earth.
I
There
don't
are
dream
over
of flying, man.
1,000 confirmed planets that have been discovered outside of our solar system so far, and you can learn about the most recent ones discovered by checking out this video from Second Thought next, where he explains the possibility of life outside our solar system. Other than that, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking here, visit my Patreon by clicking here, and if
No more promotion. So by 2017, I guess this was fairly new channel. Alright, I didn't know that. I didn't know this channel was that new. He has 4 million subscribers. Well, okay. Yeah, 5 impossible things that can happen. This is awesome. The ice that happened, below the immense, depth in the sea. Raining rocks. Raining glass sideways. That would shred anything. That is just ridiculous. But yeah, this is just tip of the iceberg, I guess. There's lots of ridiculous things that can happen in space. It's just fun to know, not to be there. Alright, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards for the playlist, check out the end cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.